Hey there, how y'all doing? I wanted to do that's not really a view, maybe an overview on SOG knives. I really like SOG knives. I have several of them. And to give you a little background on SOG knives, there's some people that think that there's a man named SOG out there. Well, that's not it at all. Back in the 60s during the Vietnam War, the government funded these people to come up with equipment, tools that they could use out in the field for the soldiers. And they brought in the think tank people from all the best colleges around, people that were really into technology and all this. They brought them from all over. And it was funded, and it was a group, and it was called Studies in Organized Groups. And they made knives and trenching tools, all kind of equipment, and they were tested. They were sent to Vietnam for the soldiers to test, and they would get feedback from them, and what worked, they would start mass producing them. Well, when the Vietnam War was over, the fund ran out, but these people that had been doing this, they thought, man, we've been doing this for a while. Since it's not funded, maybe we could go into business and start one of our own. And they did. So they they made an acronym out of Studies in Organized Groups, SOG, and that's where the SOG comes from. And this is my very first SOG knife. It's a SOG Flash II, spring-assisted knife, and it's the model number FS8. It's got a satin spring-assisted. It's got a satin finish, a US Aus-8 blade. This has a GRN handle, not an RFN. RFN's reinforced fiberglass nylon. This is a glass reinforced nylon. And it has an overall length of 8 inches. The blade length on it is 3.5 inches, 3.5 inch blade. The blade thickness on it, this is a pretty thick knife. It's got a little width to it coming out there, is 0.125 inches. This thing has a Rockwell hardness of between 57 and 58. And it has a closed length of 4.5 inches. That's a good handful. It sticks out beyond your hand. You can even use this as an impact weapon when it's closed, even when it's open even. And this thing only weighs 3.1 ounces. And it has dual thumb studs, or ambidextrous if you want to say that. And it's got a reversible pocket clip. You can make it for left-handed, take the clip off and turn around and make it for right-handed. When I first, the first knife I wanted for a SOG, I wanted a plain edge. I don't know if you can see the use on this. I have wore this thing. You can see the wear I've got on that blade. Well, let me get some of the fingerprints off of this. I used this thing for everything. I have cut everything you can think of: rope, twine, weeds, all kind of stuff. But I really wanted a plain edge. But I've had this thing 3 years. When I tried to buy a SOG knife, I wanted a plain edge, but everybody was sold out of them. You could only get this serrated edge. And I usually gravitate away from serrated knives. I just like plain edges better. And I tried to get one every time I'd go to look on Smoky Mountain Knife Works, knifeworks.com, Knife Center, you name it. They were all on back order, couldn't get them. And I messed around. I tried to order one for 7-8 months, and everybody was out of stock. No matter your corner store, I tried everybody. But as luck would have it, I finally found one in stock at Blade headquarters in Lehigh, Utah. And it's exactly the same thing as the serrated, except plain edge. I just like a plain edge better. I can deal with it better. It's easier to sharpen. If you're out in the field and you can't get to a little tool to sharpen this serration with, you're kind of lost. I mean, it'll stay sharp for a while, but everything goes dull after a while. But this plain edge, and there again, I hate to using that word tactical, but buddy, these two knives here, that's a 3.5 inch blade. You got a handful, and it's got the same blade thickness, and both of these are flat grinds. I prefer flat grind over any other kind, whether it's doggone, I can't even think of what I was trying to say now. Saber grind, a hollow ground. I prefer the flat grind on it. It just cuts so much better for me. But I got these two and really like these knives. And then SOG came out with the SOG Aegis. And the way in the SOG catalog it's spelled Aegis, but they break it down and it's with 2 E's and GIS. They pronounce it Aegis. And the model number on this is AE01. It's spring assisted also. It's got a satin stainless steel AUS blade length 3.5 inches. It's got an overall length of 8.25 inches. Now these have a Zytel handle. It's basically pretty much the same, except they refer to these as GRN. They call this a Zytel. And on these, right here in the middle, if you can see these little rows coming down through here, those are rubber inserts. And when you have it in your hand and your fingers right here on this side and this side over here, you get grip on it. It will not slide out of your hand. I've been out using these things in the hot sun. I've used them out in the rain too. Your hand just will not slip off of that. And amazing to me, the SOG Aegis weighs 3.1 ounces also, so just like the SOG Flash II. I mean, if you're looking at them, it looks like the Aegis is just a little bit bigger. Well, the blade is got a bigger blade on it, and the handle's portioned out a little bit farther here than it is on the Flash II. But they weigh exactly 3.1 ounces. That's a mystery to me. I mean, just looking at it, you'd think one was bigger than the other, but they are exactly the same. And this also has a reversible pocket clip. You can for left hand or right handed, but these are only for tip up. They didn't make arrangements like Spyderco does. You can't make a 4-position out of it. It's just left or right hand, not up and down. It's just tip up only, same way on the Flash II. And this is a knife too, but there again, you can use it for self-defense, whatever. And I like this knife, but then I ordered another SOG Aegis, and this time I got the titanium nitride coated. This whole thing is coated. It's just exactly the same as this, except it's titanium nitride on that blade. It's got a titanium nitride coating on it. And I've had this thing going on almost 2 years now, and I've used this thing a lot, and that titanium nitride has really held up on this blade. And here's another thing, amazing thing to me. They're made exactly the same dimensions, same size, same everything, but this one, the titanium nitride, feels so much better in your hand. It's got a better grip to it. It just feels superior in your hand to this. And the only thing that I can imagine, all the pins, the pivot screw, everything in this is titanium nitride coated, where you got the stainless steel. All these are stainless steel on these, on this one. But everything on this is titanium nitride coated. And boy, it feels good. And it's got the same rubber inserts. And another thing I found out is the jimping. The SOG Flash IIs have no jimping on the blade. They have a little bit of cosmetic jimping right here on the handle, but they don't have it on the blade. On the SOG Aegis, they've got the jimping on the handle and then up here on the blade also. But this being stainless steel, they had to polish it to make it stainless steel, and when they polished it, this jimping right here, it smoothed it out. Your thumb just slides right across it. It gives a little bit of traction, but nothing to brag about. But this titanium nitride, since they didn't polish it, the edges are sharper right there. Man, my thumb that's hurting to push my thumb across it. I don't know if I can get it close enough for you to see, but they rounded right there. It's when they went over and polished this thing to make it satin finish. These things that had a bevel to it that sticks in it, but when they polished it, it smoothed it out. But since they didn't polish this one, you got something there, man, that feels like going right across there. But I had my SOG knives out, and I was wanting to just show them off there, because I like SOG knives. I think I have more SOGs than I do any other brand. But that's my SOGs, and I just wanted to throw that out there for you. So I appreciate y'all watching, and thank you very much.